නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස සංඛාරානන්ත්වේව අනිච්චතං විදිත්වා විපරිණාම විරෝග නිරෝධං පුබ්බේ චේව සංඛාරා ඒතරහිච සබ්බේ සංඛාරා anicca dukkha viparinama dhammati ti. Dear friends in Dhamma, we are discussing based on Attadipa Sutta. This is one sutta coming in the Khanda Sangyukta, where Buddha describes about the aggregates, their nature. And one interesting statement first Buddha mentioned is Attadipa bhikkave viharata atta sarana, ananya sarana. So we have to keep ourselves as the refuge. We have to keep ourselves as the island. There is no any other refuge. Dhammadipa, Dhamma sarana, ananya sarana. So Dhamma as the refuge, Dhamma as the island, nothing else. No other refuge. So in a way, giving the responsibility back to us and giving us enough confidence. He is not a savior. There is no any other external source going to help us. Rather, inviting us to come back to ourselves and be responsible. And being with ourselves, understanding ourselves, developing ourselves, and freeing ourselves. So in a way, kind of a mature way of looking at things. As we even discussed during the question and answer session, the typical human nature is that we are expecting someone to come and save us, someone to come and make us kind of free from all the suffering. So that such kind of religions are also there. But here Buddha says, okay, Dhammadipa bhikkave vihirata Dhamma sarana ananya sarana, Attadipa bhikkave vihirata atta sarana ananya sarana. So Dhamma as a refuge, Dhamma as an island, we ourselves as a refuge, ourselves as an island. So while developing like that, while being like that, he further explains, okay, while you are doing that, you need to have an introspection. You need to look at inside. Attadipanam bhikkave viharatang atta sarananang ananya sarananang Dhammadipanam dhamma sarananang ananya sarananang yonisova upaparikkitabba. So while you are dwelling like that, you need to looking inside. You need to look at yourself. You need to have an introspection. So what is the finding? So what we need to search for? Kinjatika soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa kim pahotika. So how these sorrows are starting, how these sorrows, lamentations, cries, worrying, subtle mental agitations, how this, is there any such thing currently available in my mind, in one's own mind? So we need to look back, we need to step back and look at ourselves. So is there any kind of suffering going on right now? In a way, this is about the First Noble Truth. So what's the First Noble Truth? There is suffering. Right? So there is suffering. So it is not I am suffering, rather there is suffering. So that we need to put things in the correct perspective. Okay, there is suffering. So that suffering, if there is something, if there is certain agitation, if there is any unrest, if there is any sort of agitation or mental suffering, that we need to recognize, that we need to understand. Not outside, but inside. We need to look at inside. Now, so while doing that, now Buddha is taking us to the next level, that is the development of the Vipassana. Now, in order to develop Vipassana, actually we need fair amount of mindfulness and concentration. So that's why we are trying hard to develop fair amount of mindfulness, keeping our attention each and every step, so that our mind does not get distracted and we remember the instruction. So mindfulness actually has some relationship with the memory. So you are giving a kind of an objective to the mind. Okay, don't think about this and that. come back to the present moment, be with the present moment, be with the present moment phenomena, and we are training the mind. It may take time because mind is habituated to distract, habituated to go this and that. But now we need to reprogram it, train it, coming back to the present moment, being with ourselves, being with the body as much as possible, so we recognize what is going on inside. We start with the body. So what are the bodily processes available? How am I feels like at the moment? So present moment awareness. So we are developing. We have it to some extent, but that is not enough. So we are developing that further and further. So as a result of that, now you are being with yourself and you know exactly what is going on. Mind become less distractive. And now you understand, okay, not only it is in the present moment, but it has some consistency. It can maintain its attention for quite a long time. So that means another skill being developed, that is a concentration. You can maintain your attention on breathing, what is happening right now, for a long time. Not just one breath, not just 2 breaths, but say 100 breaths, 200 breaths continuously. So then mind has trained. It is remaining in the present moment as well as it can stay there for a long time. Mind has concentrated, it has focused now. So we are still preparing our mind, not yet we can say started Vipassana, but rather preparing the necessary causes. So when assume that now we have that capacity, okay, mind stays in the present moment, not getting distracted too much, staying here and staying here for a long time, continuously, as much as possible. So now as we are developing that body awareness, so various processes start showing themselves. It is not that we are manipulating them, forcing them. Rather, we have developed certain skill, so that skill reveals what is happening inside, say in the body. Now, say the breathing process, rising and falling process, blood circulation. So now we are very much with ourselves. Now we have closed our eyes. So what is happening right now inside? So the bodily processes. So similar attention has to be paid to the mind. So body we didn't control. We allow the body to breathe naturally. We allow the bodily processes to happen naturally as they want. And we step back and watch it as an outsider. So can we have such attitude to the mind? Thoughts are going on. Now we step back and see how thoughts are coming, how thoughts are appearing. So thoughts become then mere thoughts. It is not that I am thinking, rather there are thoughts. So we put that into the correct perspective. Again, there is a thought. There is a lustful thought. There is an angry thought. There is a thought of ill will. There is jealousy. So different defilements may appear, not afraid, but they are what they are. There is lust, there is anger, there is loving kindness, there is compassion. But now I am not going to develop loving kindness, rather I recognize, okay, there is loving kindness thought. There is a compassionate thought. There is a lustful thought. There is a thought of ill will. So things are there, so you recognize, okay, thoughts are appearing in the mind. Thoughts are appearing. So when we are doing like this, so different things might happen. So previously what happened is that we didn't have that capacity. Even though we tried that to observe the mind, we get caught up. Because thoughts are very deceiving, deceitful, temptful. So they absorb us into it and we start thinking and we ultimately start proliferating. We've been trapped. Not enough mindfulness, not enough clear comprehension. So we need fair amount of mindfulness and clear comprehension to have a successful Chittanupassana. Otherwise very difficult. Otherwise easily we get caught. Assume that we have certainly developed through the Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, all these necessary skills. So time to time we are sharpening our necessary skills and we are capable of looking at the mind. And one sign of our success is that as a result of our observation, whatever the thought start weakening and it will ultimately disappear. Assume that there was a lustful thought. I step back and watch it, not get caught up with it, and that lustful thought naturally faded away. There was an angry thought, step back, watched it, recognized it. Naturally, by itself, it's faded away. There is a loving kindness thought, step back, watched it, understood. Naturally, it also faded away. Chitte chittanupassi. Or chitta patisangvedi asasisamiti sikkati. So you are being sensitive to the mind, understanding what's going on in the mind, various thoughts. And as it happens, now for you the previous attitudes might change. Previously we were thinking, okay, always I have to think something good, something wholesome. Isn't it? Now it's quite different. Okay, they are mere thoughts. So then, say, thought starts somewhat dismantled. Rather than coming as a group, as a bunch, in bulk form, now you can see they are coming one after the other. So that the whole bundle get dismantled. Now they are not coming as a group, but one after the other. Now slowly the mind become very much spacious. So thoughts are appearing like one after the other. So you can actually use thoughts themselves to develop insights. So you understand, okay, there is a beginning of a thought, arising of a thought, appearance of a thought. If I am not contributing to it, if I am not getting deluded by that, okay, then naturally it will fade away. So you start understanding, oh, this is like this. I don't need to be afraid of. Say, lustful thought. Okay, it has a beginning, it has an appearance. It also then disappear, fade away. Anupadassa kamachandassa uppado hoti tancha pajanati. So there was no lust previously, but now, say, there's a lustful thought arising. So you can understand, you can recognize, you feel it, you sense it. You can recognize it. Uppannassa kamachandassa pahino hoti tancha pajanati. And you understand, okay, that is fading away. Okay, that's also understood. Pahinassa kamachandassa, I think anupado hoti tancha pajanati. And it's faded away and it's gone. Not yet, hasn't come yet. Now absence of kamachanda, absence of sensual desire currently. So when we are doing like this, so the number of thoughts become less and less. Assume that previously per minute there were 100 thoughts per minute, 100 thoughts per minute. Not bad. Later, 50 minutes per second, per minute, say. 50 thoughts per minute. Then, say 25 thoughts per minute. Per minute. So that means some gaps are there, right? Assume that the lifespan of a thought is, say, 10 seconds. Then as we are improving, say 10 thoughts per minute, that means 50 seconds, but there are 10 seconds, nothing. Then 5 thoughts per minute, then 5 into 10, 50. Oh, what? 10 seconds, one thought? Wow, too long. That also may change. Now, we can't have a definite, defined length of a thought. And as our mindfulness growing, probably you may understand, okay, thoughts are like fractions. You can't even recognize the complete thought, say assume that there's a complete thought, we are defining, okay, a thought has to have this kind of characteristic. It has to show a proper beginning. It has to have a proper content. And then only once I understood that content, then only it may fade away. Okay, understood. But later, it comes and it pops up and then immediately disappeared, and you can't even understand the content so quick. So it's kind of fraction of thoughts now. It's not going through the complete cycle even, cycle in the sense the long thought, but those are becoming short thoughts. Now as we are moving forward, now time to time you recognize, okay, certain absence of thoughts possible. Now this is actually even happening at the Kayanupassana level, but we are paying attention to the body at that time. Since we are not paying attention to the mind, thoughts, since we are paying attention more into the body, so thoughts starts disappearing, but still we haven't looked at that because our primary attention is on the body. But now in the Chittanupassana, we are directly watching the mind, not considering much about the body, but directly confronting the thoughts. So at that time, okay, one after the other they start coming in. Now one came and then it gone. Now little gap, another one coming, understood, gone. Another one coming, understood, gone. Another one, say, didn't come. What shall we do? That yesterday's statement, cogito ergo sum, Descartes, I think, therefore I am. So what's going to happen to this now? No thoughts. Where am I? Isn't it? So we are having a kind of a challenge in that area. So according to Descartes, so we have to have a thought, then only I exist. So if there is no thought, so you can't feel yourself. I have to die. Or you feel complete absence of yourself, you go insane. What happened? You become crazy? No, I mean, you can understand, okay, no thoughts, but you are fully aware. So is it essential to have thoughts? That's another thing that we need to ask ourselves, isn't it? So is it essential to have thoughts for us to live? So have you experienced thoughtless moments? Complete absence of thoughts? It's possible. That's a very interesting area actually we are discussing. So, and that is something to explore in your own. So when you are looking at your mind, so assume that there are thoughts, many thoughts, full confusion. But as we are practicing, it becomes less and less, now less confusion. So your burden has reduced. So you feel relaxed, calm, tranquil, less thoughts. Now they are coming once a while, again gone. Now there are time periods, okay, 1 minute, no thoughts. 2 minutes, no thoughts. 5 minutes, no thoughts. So likewise, now there are situations as we are developing, so no thoughts. But fully aware, not falling asleep, fully aware. Now, then actually the way of looking at thoughts, our perspective, our perception completely start changing. So previously we thought, that's also thought. Previously we thought, okay, I am a lustful character, I am an angry character, I am a bad guy. So all that are our assumptions. Now we understand, okay, they are mere thoughts. So when there are no thoughts, who am I? Am I bad or good? Which one? Are you a good character with no thoughts or bad character with no thoughts? So we lose that, the typical conventional, say, measurements. So previously we are defining, okay, when I have, say, lustful thoughts, I am a bad character. When I have loving kindness thoughts, I am a good character. Now, no thoughts, what character? No character. Now let's go to the Buddha's further explanations. Sankharananteva aniccatam viditva. Now, when you are going through this kind of a practice, so the anicca becomes apparent. So impermanence become apparent because you understood that, you have directly seen it with respect to the thoughts, right? So previously you might have seen it with respect to the body, elements through the elements, maybe through the feelings when you are practicing Vedananupassana. Now we are in the domain of the thoughts, emotions, intentions. So that also show the same characteristic. They also have the nature to arise and then pass away. And so you understand, okay, they are also conditioned phenomena. They haven't come to stay longer, but unfortunately I, being foolish, I kept them too long. But now you are releasing them. You abandon them. Then they don't have enough energy or they don't have much strength to occupy the mind because they are not getting internal strength, your own support. So they themselves become quite weak phenomena and they disappear. So then we no more start being afraid of thoughts because we understand, okay, thoughts have come to go. And previously sometimes we are using various techniques to push them away. Say, for example, if you have lustful thoughts too much, then probably you can develop Asubha Bhavana. So that less lustful thoughts. If you have thoughts of ill will too many, probably you can practice Metta Bhavana. Then we are doing kind of a replacement. A kind of a forceful way of suppression, isn't it? Even though it is a valid method, it's a little bit of forceful. But now, so you allow it to come, allow it to be, allow it to go. You are not afraid. You have some confidence now about your own practice. So we as meditators, we have to have that confidence. So we are developing kind of a confidence. Okay, now thoughts are coming. Okay, nothing to worry. They are there. But I am not being deluded. Okay, they are going. That's also you can see, you can notice. And there are no thoughts. Yes, no problem. Let me enjoy the inner silence. So, understanding impermanence through thoughts is a very interesting area. And it becomes very, very strong understanding. And it becomes a powerful insight. And your character may change. You get a lot of confidence about the practice, a lot of faith about the Buddha's teaching. And you yourself become more stronger because you understood very clearly through your direct experience, okay, they are there, but I am not worried. They have the nature to come and go. Coming and going, appearing and disappearing, arising and passing away is an inherent characteristic of all the conditioned phenomena. So this is a strong insight. Yankincha samudaya dhammang sabbantang nirodha dhammang. It's a very strong insight. So when you are observing thoughts and understanding that insight again and again, so you become more confident of the Buddha's teaching, well established in it. So very much like you are arriving in the Dhamma, Dhammattiti jnana. Very much like you understand even the causes why these type of thoughts are coming. Say for example, you are watching some newspaper, it has all the garbage. And then you went to the sitting practice. So all different thoughts coming to that, whatever the, gossip in that newspaper are popping up. Obvious. So you were in the whatever election and presidential election, that election, this election, that minister. So all the gossip is there. You went through it, consumed that. And once you go to the sitting session, so they start popping up. Understood? Say, you were talking with someone about a patient who is in the cancer hospital. Had a discussion, chit-chat in the cafeteria. Then you came here and you start sitting. So thoughts coming about that patient. Understood? So whatever previously associated have a greater influence to our mind. So likewise, the thoughts appearing in our mind in the present moment has a greater influence, maybe what we have associated previously. So what we were typically doing, what we have habituated, what are our future plans, likes, dislikes, current, whatever the environmental conditions, all that are influencing the mind. So accordingly, different thoughts are coming. Now, say we understood that, then slowly we are able to abandon that. So then other very subtle thoughts are also there, very much deceiving, like say you want to teach others, I want to help my children, I want to teach meditation, I want to invite others. So what we call the Jnati Vitakka, talking about relatives. So I am now fairly good in meditation, I better invite my father also. He is just looking at news, always watching the news. So he better come here, rather than he just continuing his wrong habit. So you are thinking about your father. Jnati Vitakka. Appear like good. But later you end up with anger even. Last time also I mentioned him, when I am going to Kalalgoda to come with me, he didn't come. He's a useless fellow. So you end up with anger even. So it's a very cheaty way these thoughts are coming. So likewise, very subtle thoughts are there, appear like correct, but even that shouldn't be followed. And sometimes say, how others are looked at me. So what's the kind of attitude they have about me? Hope they have the correct understanding about me. That fellow looked at me in a different way. I don't know why. So you need to have a, you need others to have proper understanding about you. Very interesting way of looking at things. Anavanyati patisangyutta vitakka. So even that, useless thought, a mere thought, appear like correct. So probably you may stand up and talk to him, and so do you have, are you all right? Are you having any issue with me? You might even want to verify. Not necessary, useless. This is a mere thought in the mind. So likewise, Buddha even discuss about different categories of vitakka, different categories of thoughts. But anyway, all are conditioned phenomena. More and more the wisdom develops, more and more you start letting them go without feeding them. Now assume that all that are gone. Another type of thoughts are there. What are they? Dhamma related thoughts. Dhamma vitakka vasissanti. Dhamma related thoughts. Say today morning Dhamma discussion or Dhamma sermon or what you have heard in a book. So Dhamma related thoughts are also there. So previously once it comes, so you might even encourage that, you want to think further about it, you want to write it, you want to discuss it in something, and then you are planning, you are thinking. So Dhamma related thoughts are there. So what are you going to do now? Open your eyes and start writing it, starting your new book. That also has to be abandoned. Even the Dhamma related thoughts have to be abandoned. So then you are coming to a complete calmness, inner silence. None of the thoughts are encouraged. Rather they are mere thoughts, you understood them, and now nothing is there. So very much like now the practice becomes releasing the mind, freeing the mind. Vimochayan chittang asasisamiti sikkati. So you are now meditating to release the mind, free the mind. That is also not forceful. So previously you want to push it away, but now you are doing it in a more delicate manner, without making any stress, without adding any stress, without adding any force. Because you understood they are coming, nothing to worry, but they are going also. I don't want to push them. Let it come, let it be, let it go. So become more relaxed, more composed, more calm. And more you are experiencing inner silence. no proliferation. Time to time you can get caught, but that also become less and less. Say this kind of a scenario, say during the sitting, say you are able to experience inner silence, say 5 minutes. Next time, say 10 minutes. Next time, say 15 minutes. Now you have to try that in the walking. Can I have such a silence while at walking? When things can be visible, when sounds are heard, still mind remain calm, quiet. Is it possible? So these are the areas that we need to explore, isn't it? So you may see things, but mind should not get agitated. You may hear things, but mind should not get agitated. You may smell, taste, sense through the body, but mind should not get influenced. Ditte dittamattam bhavissati, sute sutamattam bhavissati, mute mutamattam bhavissati, viññāte viññātamattam bhavissati. Thoughts sometimes coming, but you are not being trapped in them, you are not caught up in them, they also go. Mind remains steady. Kind of steady mind now. And because you understood their impermanent nature, understood their non-self nature, and you understood, okay, thinking best thoughts is not the path. Now previously we are thinking, okay, I need to think wholesome thoughts. So that's a typical notion, right? We have, okay, so that's why we are always occupying our mind with good thoughts. Habituating the mind to think good, think wholesome thoughts. But now you are coming to another area, okay, I don't need to think. So very interesting finding that Buddha is talking about his own practice in the Dedha Vitakka Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya. So he is telling, okay, first I categorize thoughts, wholesome, unwholesome. Whenever thoughts are coming, I am dividing it. Okay, this is a wholesome thought. This is an unwholesome thought. So he is putting into 2 categories. And he say, okay, unwholesome thoughts, if I continue, if I encourage, then I am going to suffer. Others are also going to suffer. So I better not encourage them. So I abandon unwholesome thoughts. But wholesome thoughts, if I am thinking, not much harm. If I am following, not much harm. So it is good for me, good for the others. So I am encouraging wholesome thoughts. So that is one type of, or one level of practice. He did that. And later he say, now no much unwholesome thoughts, but now only wholesome thoughts are there. Fairly the mind become more wholesome. So what is the next stage? Now he says, okay, when I am continuously thinking even the wholesome thoughts, I feel tired. My body feels tired. So then what I did, I even allow wholesome thoughts to fade away. Kept the mind in silence. So this is something that we need to understand. Okay, it is not that we are trying to think every time the wholesome thoughts, but rather we understand thoughts are all conditioned phenomena. They are coming and going. We can't rely on thoughts. So thoughts are merely conditioned phenomena. We can't find satisfaction with them. We can't rely on them. We can't hold them. We can't ask them to provide me satisfaction, no guarantee, refuge. Rather, thoughts are mere conditioned transient phenomena. Okay, let them go. So I am finding refuge in another level. So what is that other level? Sankharananteva anicchataṃ viditva viparināma viraga nirodhaṃ pubbeceva sankhara etarecha sabbe sankhara. So now someone understood, the yogi understood, all these different thoughts are impermanent, they are changing, they are fading away. So now he understood the cessation also. So once thoughts have disappeared, so he plunged into a complete absence of thoughts. And there he is not putting his attention back to the body, not putting his attention back to the feelings. not any other phenomena, but keeping the mind empty, not holding on to anything, not relying on anything, not standing on anything. And he understood that characteristic of impermanence, changing, this fading away. So these are common not only to the present thoughts, even to the past thoughts it has happened. Even if I have future thoughts, that is also common. So it's a kind of a broader understanding. Evametang yathabhutang sammappaññāya passato ye soka parideva dukkha domana supayasate pahiyanti. Now Buddha say, so as you are developing these insights, so your sorrows, your lamentation, your crying, your worries, all have to, what happen? Has to diminish, have to reduce. So one benefit that Buddha mentioned about the Satipatthana, dukkha domanassanang atthangamaya, soka pariddevanang samatikkamaya. So here also he repeats the same. So as we are practicing, whatever mental suffering has to be reduced now. Bodily suffering can't help. That no guarantee. Even if you eat wrong food, it may produce suffering. Simple as that. Even a mosquito bite can cause dengue. So fragile. How about mind? So if we develop the mind, then you can have some guarantee. So now thoughts are not the thing that you are relying on, but you are relying on absence of thoughts, where the mind is not established at any conditioned phenomena, not attached with any conditioned phenomena, not grasping any conditioned phenomena. And as a result of that, you have found a new refuge. Where? Nowhere. Not in conditioned phenomena. So not in the body, not in the feelings, not in the perceptions, not in the sanya, not in the thoughts, and not even with the sense impingement, say sense, whatever the sensory reactions. So your mind become more kind of independent from conditioned phenomena, not grasping anything in the world, not associating anything in the world. Anissitocha viharati nachakinchi loke upadhyati. Now you are recognizing a state of mind where it dwells, it knows, but no phenomena. It's empty. Tesam pahana na paritassanti. So when all these conditioned phenomena are abandoned, there is no inner agitation. So inner agitation is a possibility, by the way. So people might get afraid. So when assume that your mind, so you are looking at various phenomena, you have something to be with, and your thoughts are coming and going, and I is there, your presence is there, time to time you know that I am breathing, I am thinking, I am here, like what happened to Descartes. So then when no thoughts, what's going to happen to me? So that's a kind of a scary moment. It can happen. So till we have strong attachment to the body, to the feelings, to the perceptions, to our thoughts, sensory, experiences, we can't keep the mind away from all that. Again go and grab it. So we have strong sakkaya ditthi. So in order for us to maintain our presence of mind without any phenomena for a longer period of time, we have to have fair courage at the beginning. Because you feel like complete absence of thoughts, you feel like I'm going insane, I'm going to get crazy, and time to time you can't even remember things. So what's the date today? Is it Saturday or is it Sunday? So you can't even remember. So things are going in a different direction. Now you understand, okay, something's going wrong. I better discuss with someone. When I'm going to teach, okay, I can't remember the lesson in front of children. While we are going to deliver the lecture, you can't deliver the lecture, you feel a bit uncomfortable because all the plans are erased from your mind. Kind of absurd things now happening. So these are some symptoms of this disease. Now you are going to recover, by the way. But we interpret it as a problem, isn't it? We interpret, I was holding all this load of information about my children, about my husband, about my culture, about my grandfather, about my great-grandfather, about King Dhatusena. many years of historical information. Many loads of imaginations. Many loads of, foreign affairs. Israel war. What's the other one? Ukraine war. If they are going to go to the moon, another war. Lot of information crowded in the mind. Now all of a sudden nothing is there. You are like an alien to this world. Where am I? Where is I? What happened to me? You might, you feel a little panicked. What happened to me? Where am I? It's because I is there, now absence of I. You can't even think of a situation where the complete absence of I, isn't it? Because we believe there is an I, strong person here, but no one is here now. So which part is now affirming a self? Nothing is there. That's why, we have to go through a careful way in this area, particularly when we are arriving here. If we haven't heard the Buddha's teaching, we may lose it. Because it's very radical. So this state of mind is very radical. Because what we are used to is to attach with something. Either we hang up with the body, hold in the body, holding feelings, holding perceptions, holding thoughts, continuously going on something, the confusion. We like it. Worries, we like it. Thoughts, we like it. Imaginations, we like it. We like to think. We are addicted to thinking. Now, no thinking. See, all of a sudden you become someone different. No thinking even. So, complete change of the character now. Your atmosphere, your mental orientation completely shift now. So, in order for us to, properly support it, you need fair support coming from the Buddha's teaching. Otherwise, you get messed up. And sometimes even if you go to a wrong person, he might even say, okay, please don't go there. Please stop your practice. You are now going to become crazy. But Buddha supports. Here now he is telling, Tesam pahana na paritassati. So when all that is abandoned, you feel not agitated. You feel remain calm. Whatever happens, let it happen. I have given up my life to the Buddha. I have dedicated my life to the Dhamma. I have dedicated my life to the Sangha. I am going to do it. So you have a firm determination. You are doing it again, coming to that state of mind, you are dwelling there, staying there. And slowly, you get the confidence. Okay, I was there for 5 minutes, nothing has happened. All my hands, legs, not damaged. So you get the confidence. Okay, let me jump to that again. Next day also, 10 minutes. So likewise now you are prolonging it, enhancing it, dwelling it longer and longer. And now Buddha says, aparitassang sukhang viharati. So while being there, you live happily. You live comfortably. No burden at all in the mind. Nothing to carry. The whole load is kept aside. So you feel lighter. The mind becomes spacious. previously filled with lot of garbage, corrupted. But now, fully spacious mind. Space is there in the mind. But full presence is there. You are fully present. Not insane, not crazy, fully aware, vigilant, and full presence of mind is there. Sukha viharam bhikkhu tadanga nibbutoti uchati. And Buddha say, so when a person living like this, not attached to anything, not holding to anything, maintaining the freed mind, so he says, he can maintain that to the extent depending on the insight. Because we have developed certain insight, the Vipassana practice, so that wisdom is taking care of how long we are able to maintain this state. So tadanga nibbuti. So our understanding this realization or this freedom, yet depending on the wisdom, insight. So the moment that we get deluded, the moment that ignorance pump in, we again collapse. Jump back to the body. Jump back to feelings. Jump back to thoughts. Again messed up. So how long can you live in that state? It depends on the wisdom. So therefore, this is a kind of a temporary freedom, temporary nibbana. So to that extent, mind is completely, calm, relaxed, tranquil. To the extent of the wisdom, the power of the wisdom is the determining factor. So if you have a strong, wisdom, then you can maintain that for a long time. Why? Avidya pacca sankhara. You know that ignorance conditioned formations. Now, instead of ignorance, what you have is the opposite, wisdom. So if ignorance conditions formations, what is the opposite? With the absence of ignorance, there can't be any formations, isn't it? So if there is no ignorance, there can't be formations. So the calming down of formations, stilling the formations, sabba sankhara samatha, a synonym for nibbana. Sabba sankhara samatha is a synonym for nibbana. So what currently one is experiencing is not the, the full-fledged, complete, pristine kind of nibbana, but at the moment you have developed a fair amount of insight. That insight is capable of temporary stilling all the formations. So the mind is clean, clear, spacious, stopped. Mind has stopped. No more movements. It's utterly in the present moment. Relaxed. Happy, contented, no doubts. So till we have doubts, still, we mess up the thing. So what's next? So after arriving there, so you may have a doubt. What am I going to do next? Another formation. So we encourage another sankhara. Mess up the thing. But at that moment, what we need to do? Just be. Do nothing. Stilling formations means doing nothing. You have arrived the best state of mind. Be there. Enjoy that. Enjoy the inner silence. We need to learn that. We are not, typically habituated even to taste it. So Dhamma, the practice, is taking us to a higher level, but we don't know how to enjoy it. We again want to go back to the past rut. Again want to have some worries, about the Ukraine war. About the Israel war. About the cricket match. About the presidential election. We need something to be worried. Something to be with. Something worry. Something, please give me something to be worried. Crazy. Utter fools. When the practice is taking us to a very sublime state of mind, we don't know how to even enjoy that. You know how long Buddha and the full-fledged Arahants, what's the maximum capacity he can stay there? 7 days continuously. Continuously 7 days. Then it becomes a complete absorption, what we call the Niruddha Samapatti. But for us, at least for 10 minutes. Now these are the things that we need to understand. Okay, so the practice is capable, but if we are not, enjoying it, if we are not appreciating it, if we are not really telling it with the Buddha's teaching, then we mess up the thing. So once we are developing ourselves, we need to understand, okay, proliferation has to be abandoned. It's a must. Too much talk, too much thinking has to be abandoned. It's a must. Overthinking has to be abandoned. It's a must. So we need to understand these are very clear-cut teachings. So without, with proliferations, no Nibbana at all. That's a beautiful verse in the, I think in the Baddaka Sutta, uttered by Venerable Sariputta. Yocha papancha manuyuttu papancha birato magu viradayiso nibbanam yogakkemang anuttara. Whoever who is delighted with proliferation, overthinking, he's like a fool, he's like a beast. Maga means a beast. He don't know the path. Viradayiso nibbanam, he is actually going far away from nibbana. He don't know about nibbana. And then he say about the other side. Yocha papanchang hitvana nippapancha pade rato aradayiso nibbanam yogakkemang anuttara. The person who has abandoned papancha, abandoned this thinking, that overthinking, proliferation, conceptual proliferation. Yocha papanchang hitvana nippapancha pade rato, and he has an inner vision to calm down, relax, maintain inner silence. So you have an inclination to that inner silence. Let me calm down. Let me maintain inner silence. So you are enjoying that. You have a kind of appreciation for that. That is the direction. Nippapancha pade rato aradayiso nibbanam yogakkemang anuttara. So he is inviting nibbana. He is getting closer to nibbana, which is the freedom from all the shackles. So when we are talking here in the sankhara khanda, so the very gross manifestation of sankhara khanda is the proliferation, prapancha. So we need to abandon that. So then we understand some short thinking, time to time short thinking. Fine, if there is a purpose, you can do it. It is not that we have to completely prohibit thinking. So we are going to another extreme. Rather, if there is a purpose, then we can think. But if there is no purpose, then we should have a skill to stop thinking, abandon thinking, keeping the mind silent. And this happens very slowly. Even though we have some understanding, some encouragement, but still we have to practice for ourselves. It is happening very slowly. Because our minds are habituated to think. And we were delighted in thinking. We were addicted in thinking. Now, how are you going to quickly abandon an addiction? Very difficult. It takes time. It's a long-fed addiction. Now we have to carefully remove that addiction, and instead we have to enjoy the inner silence. Slowly. And then slowly you may understand, okay, now I can still the formations quickly. Previously it took, say, 30 minutes to prepare everything. Then I arrived this calmness, silence. But now with the practice, okay, now it won't take 30 minutes. Now with 20 minutes, I can arrive that. So that's a progress. With 10 minutes, I can arrive that. With 5 minutes, I can arrive that. So that's a kind of a progress that we have to look forward. And previously, we were using various methods, practicing Vipassana, say, elements meditation, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, some strenuous practices there. But as we are developing the confidence, when mind has shifted to something conditioned, Buddha say, even you being a bit shameful about it is enough for mind to return back. Return back to what? To nothing. To nowhere. So that's a practice of a trainee. So when we are gaining more and more confidence in the teaching, in your own practice, now you don't need many techniques. You don't need to struggle developing many methods, going after many teachers, reading many books. You yourself now have the confidence on your own training, your own practice. Quickly, you know what to do. And now that develops further, faith on the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, and very firm. And you are, you have a sight now. You have a clear vision now. This is what I have to do. So likewise, sir, further and further understanding all these delusions available, ignorance available, that is the one conditions the mind further for the formations. So if we are able to abandon all the delusions, abandon all the ignorance, then mind may remain in the complete silence. And when they are there, when someone is there, okay, he remains there with utter contentment, not asking something more, but contented. Not desiring anything more, contented. That is the apanihita vimokha, with no desires. Desires are abandoned. Now, if we are practicing like this, what happened to desires? So, desire is another thought, right? You can't have a desire manifested without a thought. There may be hidden desires, anusaya level, but if it to manifest, there should be a thought. It always coupled with a thought and pops up. And then you recognize it. You are not promoting this thought. You let it go. So what is going to happen to this trend? The desiring trend, it is not being supported by you. Now it becomes kind of redundant. It becomes unsupported. Not being supported, seen by the wisdom, it starts fading away. Panyaya disva asava parikkina honti. So Buddha say, okay, by seeing through the wisdom, all influxes have been faded away. But it is utterly slow. That's the difficult part. So we don't have patience. So we need quick methods, instantaneous arahantship. But unfortunately, it is not available. As sometimes Bhante Dhammajiva say, shortcut is sometimes longer than the long cut. So there are no shortcuts. So utterly slow process. So we need to understand the path, but that has to be practiced again and again, again and again, again and again. So, and by the way, time to time you understand, okay, now less thinking, less worries now. I didn't cry for a long time. So you can imagine how often are you crying? How often tears have come? Say before the practice. Say when your son didn't agree with your plan, you start crying. When your fiancé didn't show up, again crying. When your desired character didn't win the race, again cry. When the bread go up, again cry. I mean the price. So many reasons to cry. But with time you understand, okay, now less crying. Maybe later you understand, oh, now less worrying. So now mind has somewhat settled. So remain calm. Still the bread is, growing high. Still your partner didn't show up. Still your desired character lost the game. But you are stable. Something different, right? Less worried now. You are remaining very calm amidst all the ups and downs of the life. Amidst vicissitudes of the life. It doesn't mean that with the practice that everything become, a rose bed. Everything is as it is. Everything is changing. Get up with all the political mess, all the economical problems. They are the same. Different wars, battles, they are the same. They are continuing. But you, not suffering. You are not worried even. You are somehow navigating the life. Not bad. So this is the only path. We can't make the world flat. We can't make the whole world to be completely wholesome place. Rather, we are trying to make the mind stable, which is capable of maintaining its peace irrespective of the outside conditions. So then we can say, okay, the influxes which is causing the mind to get troubled are slowly now diminished, reduced. So that's why the mind remain calm amidst all the issues. Okay, with that I like to conclude today's Dhamma sermon. Thank you very much for attentive listening. Okay, I have a little announcement here, rather sharing of merits. Today breakfast dana was offered by Eshini Mudalige, which wish Eshini and her family good health and happiness. Lunch dana was offered by Tanuja Krishna Ratna. In memory of her mother, the merits to be passed to her and wish Tanuja good health. And then to Kalalgoda Dhamma friends would like to wish good health to Dr. Neeta Dahanayaka, right? Who is sick at the moment. May all the medication that is administered help her for a speedy recovery. May all the merits we gain today bestow to her as well. So with this sharing of merits, we'll wind up the Dhamma sermon. And all the merits we have accumulated, we will share with all the past relatives, all the celestial beings, and whoever in need of merits. And we wish these merits help us also to understand Buddha's teaching and practice it to the best of our ability, and to have path fruition nibbana. We will recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang. Sattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṃ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා. ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා. ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා. සාදු සාදු සාදු.